Hello and welcome you all in the wonderful series of mechanics. And this is the second lecture of the series. In the first lecture, we have discussed about distance, displacement, the difference between speed, velocity and average speed, average velocity, all these. So today we are going to discuss in detail the types of motion. First of all, from types of motion, first is linear motion. If the particle is moving in any path, like it may be straight, it may be on a curve, it may be on a circular path, all kinds of motion, that is linear motion. The motion of a single particle, that is linear motion. If it is in a straight line, this is called rectilinear motion. Linear motion may be rectilinear motion when it is body is moving or particle is moving in a straight line. When particle is moving on a curved path, just like in a circular path, then it is curvilinear motion. If the body is not a single particle, or you can say we do not treat the body as a particle, point mass, then the motion of the rigid body, then we take into account of the translational motion. We will come in for translational motion later on. First, linear motion. After linear motion, that is circular motion. If a body is moving at a fixed distance from a fixed point, just like in this way, the particle is moving on this circular path. It remains at a fixed distance from this point, fixed point. This is moving on this circular path. This kinds of motion is circular motion. Now if the body is rigid body, then in that case we take, suppose this is the rigid body, this is the rigid body, and it is a combination of many sub particles. You can say there are many particles which are at a fixed distance from each other. Rigid body is a body whose shape or size does not change with application of force. So here the rigid body may be in translatory motion or rotatory motion. What is difference between this translatory motion and linear motion? When the particle is point mass, you can say single particle, its motion is linear motion. We call it linear motion. When the body as a whole, rigid body, moves, then its motion is translational motion. In translational motion, every particle of the body, rigid body, moves through a fixed distance, same distance, in same direction. Just like this is the rigid body, every particle on it, every particle moves by same distance, just like this is the change in position. So every particle is moving by the same distance. In whatever direction we move it, the every particle is shifting by the same distance. I can take an example. Suppose this is a rigid body in my hand. If I move it in this way, though it is rectilinear motion, but here the rigid body, every particle of the rigid body is moving through the same distance in the same time. So this is called pure translatory motion. If the same body has to exit a translatory motion but in a circular path, then the orientation of the body should not change. Just like if I rotate it like this, if I rotate it like this, the orientation remains same. It is not changing. This is pure translatory motion. Like this, every particle either going along x-axis or going along y-axis, it remains in horizontal plane and its orientation remains fixed. This is, you can say, translatory motion. If it starts rotating like this, if orientation is changing like this, like if I take this example of this marker, if this point is fixed and this body as a whole is rotating about this fixed point, or you can say take a fixed line, and this rotation of the body here, orientation is changed, this is called rotational motion. So there is a difference between translational and rotational. In translational motion, there is one thing common. In pure translational motion, there is one thing common. Velocity of every particle of the rigid body is same. So can you tell what is common for a body in rotational motion? If the body as a whole is rotating, suppose I take this as a rigid body. Now every particle on this body is moving on a circular path and its orientation is also changing. Then what is common? After some time, every particle has covered a angular displacement theta. So in rotational motion we take angular displacement, and in translational motion we take linear displacement. So this is the linear displacement. The linear displacement we mark it by is sign S. If it is along x-axis we may mark it by x. If it is along y-axis we may mark it by y. If it is along z-axis we may mark it by z. And it depends upon, we may mark is by r vector also. So in rotational motion this theta is the angular displacement. So here theta is angular displacement. This is angular displacement. Means every particle has turned by an angle theta. That is angular motion. It is also called angular motion. For single particle it is angular motion, and for rigid body it is rotational motion. For rigid body it is rotational motion, and here this S is called, this is linear displacement. Linear displacement. Now circular motion is the best example to differentiate between linear motion and angular motion. I show it. Suppose a body is taking a motion on a circular path and it is point mass, single particle. So suppose the body is here at point A. Now it is at a fixed distance from the center of the circle. This is radius of the circle. Now suppose after some time it is moving from A to B. This is point B. Now the shortest distance between A and B, this one. The shortest distance between A and B, this is our linear displacement. We can mark it by S. This is our linear displacement, this one. And the angle made by this arc AB at the center, this is angular displacement, this one. This is angular displacement. And the distance traveled by the body is the length of the arc. If this angular displacement is very, very small, if this theta is very small, then this AB linear displacement and you can say distance becomes same. Magnitude of the displacement, linear displacement, and distance covered by the body will be same, and the motion of the body is on a circular track. If the body is rigid body, suppose the body is rigid body, then every particle, though having different speeds, in case of rigid body every particle is not having the same speed. This particle is closer to the center, it is moving at a less speed. This particle is far away from the center, it is moving at a fast speed. The speed is not same, velocity is also not same, but there is one thing same, that is the angular speed. You can say this theta is changing with respect to time and theta is same for everyone. So here in rotational motion what is common? That is omega. This is called angular speed. This is called angular speed. So angular speed is the rate of change of angle with respect to time. This is angular speed. In rotational motion we deal with the angular speed, and if we take it vectorially with direction also, that is angular velocity. So in linear motions we deal with the linear speed, linear displacement, and then linear speed or linear velocity. Now come to the pure translational and pure rotational. We have discussed about linear motion, circular motion. In circular motion there are both kinds of motion, angular as well as linear. If we treat this angle, that is angular. If we take this linear displacement, that is linear motion. So here in pure rotational, translational or pure rotational, what is the difference between pure translational and pure rotational? Suppose I take one example. There is a ball, we kick the ball, or you can say we can have a football, we kick it and it moves in the space. It may rotate as well as translate. So that is neither pure rotational nor translational, that is a mix. So in pure rotational what happens? Body only rotates about a fixed axis. You can say the axis of rotation remains fixed. Suppose we have the fan, the ceiling fan. Ceiling fan it is having the pure rotation. It is rotating about a fixed line. Its axis of rotation, this is the axis of rotation. So this is fixed, so we call it pure rotation. But sometimes the axis of rotation may not be fixed. If axis of rotation is also moving with a certain velocity, or you can say speed, that is, it is having translational as well as rotational. For example, Earth. Our Earth is moving around the sun in a circular path, or you can say elliptical path. So it is having translational motion. Suppose this is sun. Earth is moving around it in a elliptical path like this, and this is also having a rotational motion around its own axis. So Earth is rotating about its own axis as well as it is revolving around the sun. So the motion of the center of mass of the Earth is translational. The motion of it is translational, but the motion of the Earth around its own axis is rotational, pure rotational. So in pure rotational, every particle is moving a circular path. So the difference between rotational and circular motion: in rotational motion we have the rigid body, and in circular motion we have only single particle. So if a rigid body is having a pure rotational, you can say every particle of the rigid body is having a circular path. So that is the difference between pure this rotational motion and circular motion. Now pure translational motion, if the Earth stops rotating about its own axis, it only translates, that is pure translational. If it only rotates at its own axis and does not translate, that is pure rotational. Now rolling motion, suppose a ball is rolling over the ground. So it is the common example of partly translational and rotational. If a ball is rolling on the ground, or a wheel of the bicycle, or you can say vehicles, this is rolling as well as rotating. In rolling, it is rotating as well as translating. So it is moving with a fixed speed or variable speed. So the center of the mass of the wheel is having a translational motion, but the body is rotating about its center of mass, this axis of rotation, about this axis of rotation, and that is rotational motion. So here the motion is translational plus rotational. This is translational plus rotational. This is translational plus rotational. So rolling motion is an example of translational plus rotational motion. So it is rolling motion. This is rolling motion. In our daily life we have various kinds of motions, where we will discuss the examples also later on. First we take more examples, like next is oscillatory motion. In oscillatory, the body moves to and fro about a mean position, like a simple pendulum. If I suspend this marker like this, it is moving to and fro from a fixed position, or it may move up and down also. Suppose motion of our hand while walking, it is oscillatory motion. So oscillatory motion may be linear or angular. Just like we have a sieving machine, the sieving needle of the machine that moves up and down, that is oscillatory motion, but that is linear motion. And pendulum, simple pendulum is an example of angular motion, simple pendulum. So after that we come to vibratory motion. What is difference between oscillation and vibration? In oscillation what happens? The body moves to and from its mean position, but to a large amplitude, that is oscillation. Just like the motion of the leaf of the trees. But in vibration the amplitude is very, very small, just like vibration in a tuning fork, or vibration in the wires of a sitar or guitar, or all these musical instrument, that is Next is simple harmonic motion. What is simple harmonic motion? What happens? Everything vibrates or oscillates. It has certain frequency, means it completes fixed number of vibrations in a unit time, or its time period is constant. But what happens if the frequency remains single? Only frequency is either 10, 20 or 30, that is fixed. There is no other combination of frequency is single. That kinds of motion is simple harmonic motion. Simple harmonic motion, simple pendulum is a simple harmonic motion. And next is periodic and non-periodic. Any motion which repeats its trajectory or the path after a fixed time interval, that is periodic. If it is not repeating after the same path after a fixed time, that is non-periodic. For example, our earth is rotating around sun after completing the turn in every 365 days, or it is rotating around its own axis in 24 hours, that is periodic motion, but it cannot be oscillatory. Simple pendulum is periodic as well as oscillatory. The motion of the pendulum, this one, this is periodic, means it is completing one vibration. It starts from suppose A, crossing this position C and reaching B. If it is starting from A, reaching to B via C and then coming back to A, it completes one vibration. In the next vibration it will take the same time, so it is moving to and from this mean position. This is mean position, it is moving to and fro, that's why it is oscillatory. It is periodic also, and it is having only single frequency, is not changing its frequency, so it is simple harmonic. So simple pendulum is not so simple, but it is having the simple harmonic motion. Its frequency does not change and its time period is fixed for one vibration, and it is the best example for periodic, oscillatory and simple harmonic motion. Next is our uniform motion or non-uniform motion, this one. A motion is said to be uniform when neither its speed changes nor its direction changes. We can say velocity is constant, such kind of motion is uniform, and rest are non-uniform. And next is projectile motion. When anything is thrown in space with a certain speed and after that it is made to move under gravity alone, that is projectile motion. Now we have many kinds of motion. Suppose there are examples. You can see free fall of an object. So what kind of motion is it? Free fall. It means it is moving under gravity alone. We can call it projectile motion. Next is, can we call it uniform motion? Free fall can be uniform or non-uniform. So we can see when a body is falling freely, its speed is increasing, it means velocity is changing, so it cannot be uniform. So it is an example of non-uniform motion. Is it linear motion or angular motion? In linear motion, the body is moving either in a straight line or in a curved path. So it is an example of linear motion. It is a single particle system. It is an example of linear motion. It is not taking a turn around a fixed axis, so we cannot call it angular motion. So next is bicycle. In bicycle there are various kinds of motion. Bicycle is a very good example to understand all the classical mechanics. In bicycle, you know, when the bicycle is moving, so there is a translatory motion, but its wheels are rotating, that is rotational motion, and that is also a rolling motion also, rotation as well as translation. If the speed of the bicycle is changing, that is non-uniform. It is not changing, that is uniform motion. So next is our sieving machine. See, in sieving machine, the wheel of the sieving machine, that is rotating, that is circular motion, and the needle of the sieving machine, that is moving up and down, that is our case of oscillatory motion, this one. And oscillatory, out of oscillatory, that is linear. And next is, we will take other examples also. Let's finish this list of other motions. Like next is random motion and projectile motion. Projectile we have discussed, random motion or zigzag motion, just like smoke particles or the gas molecules or the fluid, any liquid, that is zigzag motion. So that is part of the non-rigid body. In non-rigid body we have our fluid mechanics. This is fluid mechanics. So the particles move in a random fashion. So that is part of the fluid mechanics. In that case we take the density of the body. So next is our 1D, 2D or 3D. What is this? 1D means one dimensional motion, two dimensional 2D, three dimensional 3D. When a body is moving in any direction but it's only one coordinate changing, like either it is x-axis is changing or only y-axis is changing, that is one dimensional, or both coordinates are changing, like motion of a body in a plane. If I am moving this marker on this board like this, what kind of motion is it? First of all, it is linear motion. It is curvilinear motion. Second, this marker has moved along this path, so both coordinates are changing. X also changing, Y also changing. Both coordinates are changing. Z is not changing, so it cannot be three-dimensional. It is two-dimensional only. So it is two-dimensional. It is curvilinear motion, and if the speed or the speed of my hand, it remains constant, so we can say it is you can say moving with a constant speed. But it cannot be uniform motion. Why not uniform? It is non-uniform. Why? Because the direction of motion is changing at every point, like this. Direction is changing, so we cannot call it uniform motion, because if the direction is changing, then the velocity can never remains constant. So velocity is constant, then only uniform motion, otherwise non-uniform motion. Or last is our wave motion. In wave motion, you know, we have, for example, sound waves, light waves. Wave is a form of energy, and to propagation of energy, for propagation of energy, we either require medium, or the energy may travel from one place to another without help of medium, in the form of field, just like electric field, magnetic field, in that form. So here in wave motion, just like tides, so we have other examples also we will discuss. There is an example of tides. In sea you can high tide, low tide. Here the medium, with the help of medium, energy is propagating, and that is moving from one place to another. In sound waves also, you cannot hear any sound if there is no air present nearby. So air molecules helps to propagate the sound energy from one place to another. So here the motion of the particles is oscillatory at the same place, but the energy is propagating. That is wave motion. So next is our we come to the next, after sewing machine, the next example is ceiling fan. Ceiling fan, the axis of rotation remains fixed and blades are moving, so it is an example of ceiling fan rotational motion. Next is earth. It is an example of translational as well as rotational motion. Earth is moving. And also example of non-uniform motion, because direction is changing at every point, so that's velocity is not constant. Next is simple pendulum. I have already discussed. It is an example of oscillatory, periodic and simple harmonic motion. Next is our eardrums. When we hear sound, our eardrums vibrates, so that is an example of vibratory motion, eardrums. Javelin throw. The javelin throw by Neeraj Chopra, what is that? That is projectile motion. Is it one dimensional or two dimensional? If we throw anybody, yeah, you can say we drop anybody, it is also projectile, but it is one dimensional. If we throw the body at a certain angle in space, only two coordinates are changing, either it is gaining some height or gaining some horizontal range. So two coordinates are changing, it is moving in a vertical plane, just like vertical plane of this board, whiteboard. This is in vertical plane, so only two-dimensional motion. So projectile motion is two-dimensional motion. The body is non-living, and if there is non-living body but there is some engine, just like aeroplane, we cannot call it projectile motion. Reason is that other forces are also acting, and the aeroplane may take different heights at different times. But the projectile or javelin throw, that has to move under the direction of your compulsion of gravity. That's projectile. Javelin throw is a projectile motion. Motion of fighter plane is not projectile motion. That may be zigzag or any kind of motion. Smoke particle, random motion, they keep on moving in all directions. Tides, that is example of wave motion. And the water molecules at that time, that is as a whole is oscillatory but zigzag also. Next, sound is example of wave motion in which medium particles has oscillatory motion. Light an example of wave motion, but here no medium is required. That is an example of propagation of field in the form of, that is, energy. Next is needles of a clock. In a clock you have minute hand, second hand or hour hand, so they have this circular motion, and periodic also. They repeats its turn after a fixed time period. That is needles of a clock, that is periodic and circular motion. And that is also rotational motion, needles, because the needle is a rigid body, you can say. Body as a whole is moving, not a point object. Flying of birds. Birds when fly, they flutter their wings, that is oscillatory motion, and as a whole they move, that is also translatory motion, but not projectile motion. Next is, last but not the least, football. You know, football may have a rolling motion, may have pure translatory motion, may have pure rotatory. It depends upon the situation. Let's see. Suppose this is a football. This is a football. This is the center of the mass of the football. When we kick the ball in this line of action, so that the force is at the line of action of the center of the ball, and the ground is frictionless. Suppose there is no frictionless, smooth. There is no friction, ground is smooth. What will happen? This ball will go in a straight path. You can say only translatory motion. Each particle of the ball will move by the same distance or displacement, and it has pure translatory motion. This is translatory motion. I repeat, when the ground is smooth and we kick the ball in the line of the center of the ball, when we kick it above or below it, what will happen? There will some rotation effect also. This will give some torque. To rotate a body we require some torque, that we will discuss in details. That in that case it will rotate as well. But if the same ball is kicked at the center, but this is not smooth, in that case if it is rough, then this friction force will give the torque and it will have rotatory motion also. So there will be rotation as well as translation, rotational motion. So this is translational motion plus rotational. Rolling motion is an example of translational plus rotational motion. So these are various kinds of motions. The rest of the things in the next lecture. Thank you.